Okay, so we're going to talk about surface areas, and surface areas are the outside areas of any polygon or prism or whatever it is you're dealing with. So it's kind of like saying the wrapping paper for a figure. So our first one that we're talking about here is a cube. And so with the cube, you need to think about all of the different faces that you have, all the different surface areas that you have. So one of the things you need to notice is that, like here, you have two faces there. Hence the reason it says two length and widths that are exactly the same. Then you've got another two that are exactly the same, the ends. So two length times height. And then the next thing you've got is you've got another one, which would be your bottom and your top. So that's all the different surface areas that we're talking about. So if we go through here and just start looking at surface areas. So first I'm going to do this front piece right here. So that's going to be, the surface area is going to be equal to 2 times 9 times 13, plus that takes care of these two back ones. And then the next one, I'll go ahead and do the top and the bottom. And so the top and the bottom is 2 times 7 times 13 plus, and then the next one is going to be the sides. So this side here. So it's going to be 7 by 9. So 2 times 7 by 9. So you do all those together and you add them all up and you end up with 542 feet squared. Okay, let's go to the next one. So, excuse me, let's go for the front here. So this piece right here and that back one is going to be 10 by 16. So there's two of them. 10 by 16 plus, okay, and now we'll do, I don't know, let's do this one here. The top and the bottom. So it's a 10 by 5. So two 10 by 5s. And then the next one, we'll do these edges here. So that's 5 here and 16 here. So there's two of them. So two 5 by 16s. Pop them in your calculator and you end up with 580 centimeters squared. Okay, so now we got one more. So if we take a look at this top part, it's 11 by 6. So there's two of those. And then we'll go to our next one. And then the next one, we can do the sides. So if you look, it's 1.5 by 11. So two 1.5s by 11. And then the only thing we got left is this side here, which is 1.5 by 6, and there's two of those. Pop them in your calculator, you end up with 1,831 inches squared. All right, moving along, let's go to the next ones. So this time, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do what's called lateral area, and lateral area is all of the sides. So the sides except for the bases. So what you need to do for the lateral area is you're going to find the height between the bases. So if you look, our height here is 16 because our bases are these ones here. This is a base and this is a base. And the reason I know they're bases is because they are parallel to each other. So if I go back, I find the height between them. So the lateral area is going to be your height, which is 16. And then what you do is you add up the perimeter of your base. So the perimeter of the base is 9 plus 12 plus 15. Oops, that should be a plus. What am I doing? Plus 15. So once you do that, so we're going to add that all up, and then what you do is you find, for the surface area, you do your lateral area plus the area of the two bases. So this here is going to be 576. Now, the area of the bases, they are triangles, so it's 1/2 your base, which is perpendicular, so that's going to be 9, times your height. They're perpendicular to each other. And then you want to multiply that by 2. So our total surface area would be 576 plus 2 times 54, which is what this is equal to. And so you end up with 684 meters squared. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let me change the colors here. So lateral area means I want to find the height between the two bases. Okay, so we need to find the height between the two bases. Here is a base and here is a base. So the height between those two would be right here, which is 3. So we're going to go 3, and then we're going to find the perimeter of the base, which would be 12 plus 10 plus 5. So when we add that all up together, we end up getting, let's see, we get 81. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the area of the base. So the area of the base is 1/2, and your base is going to be right here, which is 12, because remember the height is perpendicular, so it's 4.1. So our total surface area would be, you take the lateral area, which is 81, plus 2 times your base, and you end up with 130.2 kilometers squared. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So first I want to look at what my bases are. These two right here are my bases. So for lateral area, I'm going to go the height between those two, which is 15, and then the perimeter of the base. So it'd be 23 plus 12 plus 18 plus 20. So once I find all that, I should get, I believe it's 1,095. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of one of the bases. Well, that's a trapezoid, so it's going to be 1/2 times the height of that base, which is right here, 12, and then base 1, which is 23 plus 18. So my final area, the surface area, is going to be 1,095 plus 2 times 246, because this equals 246. So that the total would be 1,587 feet squared. All right, let's go to the next page. Okay, on the next page, we're going to continue on with what we were doing. So the hardest part about this whole thing is just trying to find out what the bases are and what the height is. So I'm going to go bases in yellow this time. So this one right here, these two trapezoids are my base. So for the first part, the lateral area, we want to go the height between those two bases, which is right here, 9, and then we want to do the perimeter of my base. So the perimeter of my base would be 13 plus 10 plus 18, and let's see, 13 10. I need this one here and 18. And that's going to be 13 because of the little ticks. So we know it's another 13. Okay, so that means that that's going to equal, I believe it's 486. And so the next thing we need to do is we need to find the area of our trapezoid. So we're going to go the area of our base, which is 1/2. And then you can see where the height is. The height is right here because of the little square, which is 12.4. And then base 1 is 18. And the top one, oops, it's supposed to be a plus. And then the top one is 10. We're going to multiply that by 2. So our final surface area is going to be 486 plus 2 times 60, which gives us a total of, I'm sorry, not 60. That's not 60. 2 times 173.6. So our total area is 833.2 millimeters squared. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, look for our bases. These are our bases. These two triangles, they are the ones that are parallel to each other. So let's do lateral area. So lateral area is the height between those two, which is 21 times, and now what we need is we need to add up the perimeter, which is going to be 15 plus 8, but we're going to have to find the other one. So we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. So over here we're going to go 15 squared plus 8 squared is going to be equal to c squared. So c is going to be equal to the square root of that, which is 289, 9. So c is equal to 17. So this is 17. So we're going to add that into here, plus 17, which will make our lateral area, let's see, looks like it's about 840. Okay, so now we're going to do the area of our base, which is triangle, 1/2 the base times the height, so that our final surface area would be 840 plus 2 times 60, which is going to give me 960 inches squared. So you have to look for your bases, which are parallel to each other, and then your height between the two bases to look for your lateral area. So let's take a look at this cylinder now. So a cylinder, all of these are kind of the same situation. Your lateral area is going to be 2 pi r times your height. So here's your height between your two bases. 2 pi r is circumference, which is perimeter of your cylinder. So if I go here for my lateral area, I'm going to go the circumference. Well, let's see, my height is going to be 26, and the circumference is 2 pi, and my radius, which is 11. So what that's going to give me is, let's see, I get 242 pi. So the next thing I need to do is just like I did before. I need the area of the two bases. So the area of my base is pi r squared, which is going to be pi 11 squared, which is 121 pi. So the total surface area will be my lateral 242 pi, which is the all the way around, plus 2 times the area of my bases. When you plug that in the calculator, what you end up with is 2,557.26 yards squared. Okay, go to the next one. So once again, we're going to do our lateral area. So lateral area is the distance between the two bases. That's going to be your height between those two. And then the circumference, which is 2 pi. And in this case, our r is going to be 7.5 because 15 is the diameter. So 2 times 7.5. So our lateral area this time would be 135 pi. So now what I want to do is I want to do the area of my base, which is going to be pi r squared. So pi r squared. So all together, when I do the surface area, it's going to be my lateral area, which is 135 pi, plus my two bases, which is 242 pi. And when you plug it into the calculator, you end up with 777.54 meters squared. Okay, now let's go to these applications. Word problems. Yee-hee! Okay, so if we go to word problems, if the surface area of the box of a cereal below is 272 inches, find the length of the box. Okay, so that's fine. All we have to do is think about what the surface area is. And so with the surface area, it was 2 times the tops, right? Plus 2 times the sides, plus 2 times like the other sides or the faces, the fronts. Okay, so we know our surface area is 272. So if we do the sides, that would be 2 times 12. So 2, that's these sides right here. 2 times 12 plus, that took care of those. Now, if I want to do the top here, that would be 2 times the length, which we don't know what it is, plus, now we're going to do the front. So 2 times, this is 12, and we don't know the length. 12 times the length. All we do now is we start working our problem. So 272 is equal to 2 times 12 is 24 times 2, which is 48, plus 4L plus 24L. So 4L and 24L, if we take the 272 over, I guess we can go ahead and subtract that. And that's going to give us 224, I'm subtracting 48 from both sides, is equal to 28L. Divide by 28, and you end up with your length being 8 inches. So all you're doing is plugging and chugging. You're putting in the area. Okay, so now we're going to go through this other one. So the surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r squared, that's the two bases, plus 2 pi r, your circumference, times your height. So the surface area of the soup can below is 5184, so 51.84. If the diameter of the can is 3 inches, so the diameter is 3 inches, that means our radius is going to be 1.5 inches. So 2 pi 1.5 squared plus 2 pi 1.5 times h. So that's what we're going to be looking for here, is we're going to be solving for h. So 51.84 is equal to, and let's see, 1.5 squared times 2 is going to give me 4.5 pi, plus 2 times 1.5 is 3 pi h. Okay, so 5184, I'm going to subtract 4.5 pi minus 4.5 pi, and you end up with 37.7 equals 3 pi h. Divide by 3 pi, and you end up with your height equaling 4 inches. Okay, that's all you have to do. Just remember you're doing the exact same thing every single time. You're finding the area of everything, or the surface area of everything around the edges, plus the surface area of your two bases.